wake. He set the mug on the draining board and took a boiler suit from the back of the door. He grabbed a coat, too, just in case. Outside, the air was calmer and quieter than he'd expected. It was one of those mornings when you could hear someone talking on the other side of the valley, if there had been anyone there to talk. Sandy's boots clopped on the tarmac, and the sheathed knife in his pocket chafed with every stride. "This is home," Emma had said the first time she'd brought him here to meet her parents. Her arm had motioned all around, taking in everything they could see, and she'd laughed. This was the place she was brought up, the place she knew best, and the place she wanted to come back to, though she hadn't told him that yet. But that first time, as they stood together in front of the house with the smell of her mother's cooking behind them, he couldn't see what she saw. Hills, fields, sheep, birds. That's all there was in this valley, and he'd felt no tug of connection to it. "Let's go in," he said. "It's cold." His own home might have been 25 miles away in the grey ex-council house in Lerwick where he'd spent his childhood, and where his father still lived. Or it might have been the flat he shared in Edinburgh. He never thought that much about it. The question just didn't seem important. He and Emma first met in their mid-20s when both of them were living in the city. They'd been in different year groups at school and they'd had different friends. He'd heard her name before. That's how it was with this place. But he didn't know anything more than that. She was a tiny part of a picture he no longer cared that much about. Until, having met, the focus of his care was dragged towards her. "We're tied to the islands by elastic," she told him once. "Do just test to decide how to live with it. Either it goes awa and stretches that elastic, gradually it'll slacken off and you can breathe easier, or else do just gives in. Let it pull thee back, let it carry thee hame." He'd laughed at her then. He'd never felt that pull since he'd moved south, not once. The pull always had been in the other direction, away from the place where he began. But 2 years after his first visit to the valley, he'd been carried back here together with Emma. This had become his home, and for 3 more years it had been their home. And now she was gone. David was standing at the entrance to the shed, a basin of hot soapy water in his hands. Setting it down on the workbench, he turned and nodded at Sandy. "I was up early, so I got the lambs in afore breakfast." "That's good," said Sandy. "Who mony have we to do?" "I just ate today. I hae things to be getting on wi' later. We can do the rest the morning if do's able. Else I can manage mysel' if do has other plans." Sandy shrugged. "Tomorrow's fine." In the stock box, the animals shuffled nervously. "Ready to start, then?" "Aye," said David, walking towards the trailer. He paused as if he'd forgotten something, then laid a hand on Sandy's shoulder. "I'm sorry, boy," he said, and nodded again. "I'm really sorry." Turning, he undid the catches and lowered the ramp to the ground. "I'm ready when do's ready." David stood aside as Sandy pulled open the gate and stepped into the box. The lambs were 6-month-old now, stocky and strong, and they huddled against the back wall, their eyes all turned to him. There was no panic at first, just a wire-tight expectation that hummed as he moved forward, waiting for the choice to be made. One step more, and they broke. A stubby-horned ram dived to Sandy's right side, trying to escape. He reached and caught it by the shoulders, then hauled it to the gate. There, David took a front leg in each hand and walked the animal towards the shed, while Sandy turned around for another. A ewe this time. With the second lamb held tight between his knees, he came out of the trailer and closed it behind him.